What's up, guys? Hopefully everybody can hear me today. Today we're going to be going over the Thinkorswim platform setup and explaining a little more in depth of what we did yesterday. So the way I have my watch list set up is with my open, last, percent change, volume, and shares. I also have my 52-week low and my 52-week high. To get your watch list up here, you come down here to this little plus icon and you hit it. It's got a bunch of different things in here that you can use, that you can put on this separate window, which is kind of cool. You can even play Minesweeper throughout the day if you're bored. I don't know. I don't get bored too easy. So, anywho, the way you want to set this up is you would come in here, hit Customize, and now look up a column. All you're going to do is type in whatever it is that you want. LAST, hit last, and then add the item into your watch list. Now I already have that. You guys can look here. I have symbol, open, last, percent change, volume, shares, 52-week high, 52-week low. Write them down and then go back in and set them up. Now, let me explain to you why I have it this way. This shows me what the stock opened at right here. This shows me what the stock is currently at. This shows me the percent change. This shows me the volume. This, on Thinkorswim, they do not have a low float or a float number. How many shares are available to be traded? The shares on Thinkorswim are very similar to the float. So you want to know what your float is, especially if you're pre-market trading or trading during the morning hours. 9:45, 10 o'clock, if you're trying to chase those momentum runners during the morning. The lower the float, the better the chances are you're going to have of that stock shooting up. Now, with that said, you also want to take into consideration up here on your chart. So let's say we're looking at MVIS today. MVIS today started out, it had a little jump here. Let's see if I can find something better for the purposes of showing you what's going on. All right, so here's UVAS or UAVS. Here is your moving average. Here is your 20 MA, which we discussed or have been discussing the last few days. Here's your 200. So what do I keep saying about the 20 and the 200? When the 20 is above the 200 and the volume weight average price is with the 20, here's your first green candle to break the 20 and the VWAP. That would be a perfect entry. Right here, 541. Now it rides all the way up to 624. Of course, you're going to have little pullbacks, but as long as it's staying above the 20 and above the VWAP, you're good to go. Here we are at the open. Well, let's back up a second. Here is a massive green candle right before the open. That is something that would concern me personally. I don't hold into the open, so when I saw that massive candle, if I was in this, I would have sold right then and there. I would have been out. Notice it fell back down, even though this was above the 20. Look how far away from the 20 it was. You never want to buy in away from the 20. Here's the 20. Look how far away from the 20 it is. Never want to buy in away from the 20. You want to buy in at the 20. You see how the stock goes away from the 20 and then back to the 20. Away from the 20, 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 back to the 20. Below the 20, time to get out. Away from the 20, back to the 20. Away from the 20, back to the 20. It's like a rubber band. It's repetitive. You want to enter here. Bang! Right at the 20. Here. Bang! Right at the 20. Here. Bang! Right at the 20. Now the next thing you want to look at in the morning, in conjunction, most of this isn't going to come on until 9:30. I think the open isn't going to come on, or the last couple of things, but you'll have your volume and your shares. Again, the lower the float, the better chance of the stock popping during the morning and the afternoon hours. Next thing you want to look at is the trade. When you come into trade, it's going to tell you whether this stock is easy to borrow, hard to borrow, or none to borrow. This one happens to be HTB, which is hard to borrow. You always want to check that. Hard to borrow means it can be shorted. Easy to borrow means it will be shorted. None to borrow means it can't be shorted. So let's just look at, let me find one that's none to borrow. Let me go back here. I want to give you a good example. Hard to borrow, hard to borrow, hard to borrow. Okay, so JG this morning. This would be an excellent chart to show you guys. Let's go over that one more time. Here's your 20. Here's your 200. First green candle to break the 20. Buy. Bang! You could have ran that from 327 all the way up to 532. Again, you don't want to buy in away from the 20 because it always comes back to the 20. You don't want to buy away from the 20 because it always comes back to the 20. You don't want to buy away from the 20 because it always comes back to the 20. Here's your first candle to break the 20 and break the VWAP. Now it's going away from the 20. It always comes back to the 20. Away from the 20, back to the 20. Why wouldn't you buy in right here? Because it's away from the VWAP. It's below the VWAP. You do not want to buy below the VWAP. And notice how close these two are. The 20 and the 200 can't stay away from each other that long. They'll always come back. Now let me just go further out here. Even though this stock is none to borrow, why is it going down then? Well, the majority of this was your momentum in the morning. Momentum stocks typically don't hold. So the only people that can be selling here, since there is none to borrow, are the people who bought in here. Now let's go back to the 180. And then you have all the people down here that's owned this stock for the last 180 days between $1.60 and $2.40. They're now wanting to get out now that it's $6. So those are going to be your sellers that you have to watch out for. All right, so last but not least, I'm going to throw up the time and sales here, just kind of squish this down a little bit. So now in conjunction with the 20, with the VWAP, with the 200 MA, let's go back to the day. Now here is your TTM squeeze. So what's happening here? It's going up just like your stock is going up. When it's below, your stock is below. Never want to buy in here. You never want to buy in here because it's already went up and it's only one way to go but down. This is your MACD, the MACD crossover. The MACD crossover, it'll just tell you which direction the stock is going. Again, more confirmation. Your RSI, 70, it is overbought. 30, it is oversold. So if you're right here at overbought, you're right here at your peak, and you're right here above, right, or not above, how do I want to say this? The 200 and the 20. You already went down. You're coming back to it. Back to both. Here's your high. Why would you buy in there? There's nothing here. All these charts are telling you it's already at its high. You want to wait for it to come back to its low. Back to a low. Back to a low. Here we wouldn't be buying anyway because it's below the 200. It's below the 20. So these are things I want you to take into consideration when using this. I hope this little setup here helps and you guys are learning little by little here. Tomorrow we're going to go over the scanners, and come January we're going to be going live in the morning. All right, guys, hope this helped. If it did, thumbs up. Any questions, leave comments. Thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow. Like a Hellcat.